We are live. Welcome back, everyone, for another fun-filled day of discussing Pokemon, the Pokemon market, and how we can all make a little money in this space while we enjoy collecting and investing in all this shiny stuff. So, first and foremost, before we get everything started and rolling today, we are going to announce the giveaway. And Too Much Tuna, man, brother, my guy, I don't know what to tell you. The time has run out. We do have to give the Charizard away to someone else out there. Look, if you come back and watch these videos and you want to reach out to me, I'll hook you up with something. I'll take care of you, but it's not going to be an Evolutions Reverse Holo Charizard PSA 10. Guys, this is like a $350 to $400 card. I think the last one, Buy It Now, sold for like $360. And some out of the US, it sold for more. So it's a pretty valuable card. So that's going to get given away live here in a second. And then I'm going to give everyone a sneak peek at the next giveaway because it's big. And it's through Low Popping again. So guys, make sure to go support Low Popping on Instagram, his store. He's got a website coming. But yeah, he said, let's go big. And I said, you know what? Let's go big, but we've been forgetting a lot of our vintage collector peeps out there. He said, I got you. I said, all right, what we got going? He sends me a PSA 9 Crystal Guardians Charizard Holo, not Reverse Holo, Holo. Guys, this is like a $500 plus card. We're giving it away. We're giving it away 100% free, no shenanigans. This is all ran through a random comment picker. So not this live. I just want to give everyone, here for the live a sneak peek. Tomorrow's video, I'm going to announce that giveaway. It's going to be a sponsored video by Low Popping. All you're going to have to do is comment on that video and go follow Low Popping on all the socials. If you're not already, it's going to be his YouTube, his Discord, and his Instagram marketplace. And as long as you do those things, you're entered in the giveaway and you can win. And giving you like an idea of the chances of winning, you're going to see today exactly how many comments. It's crazy. More people don't comment on these videos, but yeah, it's really not that big of a prize pool out there. I mean, not that big of a pool of people out there you're competing against. So that is going to be given away on the next giveaway at the end of this month, end of November. And yeah, I mean, I can't believe he's going this big, but I really appreciate the support, and I know he appreciates the support of every one of you that supports him and his store and his socials. So make sure we're gonna make sure to do that. If you want to go do that now, you can, and then tomorrow's video you can comment on. As for this, let's do the giveaway. All right, everybody, here we go. So if you don't remember, you had up till today to go comment on this video. All right, there are 287 comments. Now, those aren't all unique comments, right? Those are going to take into account my replies, and people who commented twice and things like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that video, all right, copy paste it into the random comment picker, all right, right there. We're going to filter out duplicate users. Like I said, you only get one chance, all right? And we are going, I got to answer this little question, and we're going to get all the comments. Let's see how many there actually were. 245. You literally have a 1 in 245 chance of winning. Now, if everyone remembers, all you have to do, this is it. If you win, send me proof, right? Screenshots, proof that it's your account that you commented with. All right. We're going to check that you're following Low Poppin' on his Discord, his YouTube, and his Instagram. And as long as you do those things, just send me your contact info. Send me your name and mailing address and everything. I'm going to send it out to you. It's free of charge. It's a 100% free giveaway. So I don't know why Too Much Tuna didn't. Maybe he just doesn't watch him much lately. But if you do win this, make sure to reach out to me, and you will claim your Charizard. So you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Here we go. Good luck and Godspeed. Faux King Gamer. Giratina is underrated. My favorite Pokemon is Lucario. All right, there you go. Faux King Gamer, you are the winner of the PSA 10 Reverse Holo Evolution Charizard. Just reach out to me. Send me an email, nostalgianomics@gmail.com. Send me proof this is your account. We'll check to make sure you're following Low Poppin' on all the socials. And yeah, I will mail out your Reverse Holo Charizard to you. Congratulations. Now, shameless plug for myself. Shameless plug. Uh-oh. Wow. You guys didn't stop me? Everyone's stopping me. I'm not showing it. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. I don't make mistakes like this very often. Guys, I ran the random comment paper. Oh man, this is bad. I can't go back. I can't go back on it. That'd be awful. I screwed up. I meant to do it all on camera. I'm sorry. Basically what I did, guys, I took the title from this video. This is the video you had to comment on. I ran it through the random comment generator. It spit out Faux King Gamer. I didn't share it. I'm sorry. Fake giveaway he sent to his alt account. Is Faux King Gamer in here? Oh man, I'm gonna catch so much heat for this. Guys, look, if you really think I'm gonna rig a giveaway, look, here's the thing. Too Much Tuna should have already claimed the card, and he hasn't. And so we had to give away to someone else. If I really wanted to rig a giveaway, I would have just kept it for myself already. So, you know, I'm sorry, guys. You can believe it or not. Like, I feel awful now. There's no way in hell, though, I can take it back after giving it to him. So, is what it is. And what I was gonna say though is shameless plug. If you didn't win, I do have. This is mine. All right, here's mine. This is the giveaway winner. Right, there are two different certification numbers. I do have one up for sale on eBay, and so if you didn't win and you do want to pick one up, I still have one for sale. I got it back my last PSA submission, and if you want to work a deal with me off eBay, reach out to me on Discord or Instagram. And I always do give better deals off of eBay. So there's that. And then obviously for the future, I will make sure to not do this one off screen. The Crystal Guardians Charizard will be announced tomorrow, and that will be on the next giveaway. Guys, I really apologize. I don't know. I'm out of it today. This weekend was brutal. I had my wife's sister, her husband, and their kid come over and visit. We had a family friend of ours pass away, and that's part of the reason I didn't make a video for today. That I just wanted to hop on a live just to get, do something. And honestly, it's just going to be more of a raw talk type live because I don't have like a whole bunch of stuff and data and statistics planned today. I really just wanted to talk about like the market and investing in this. So anyways, guys, I'm sorry about the giveaway. The whole doing it off screen, I apologize. I do, but as far as let's check the comments, then we'll get into sort of the live and the the whole, I guess, discussion or the whole topic of the day. So Risen Sparrow was the first one in here. What's up, man? Jay Birday, what up, NN? Glad you're focusing your content moving forward. Absolutely, man. I'm done with all the drama BS. Just too much lately. Gonna miss this because of work. Hey, no problem at all, bro. No problem at all. What do we got? Yeah, Pokemon Wonder. A lot of people told me I wasn't sharing. I wasn't looking. I'm sorry, guys. Let's see what we got going on. I'm telling the Cabal. What are you telling them? Tell the Cabal on them. Guys, rat them out to the Cabal. What are we going to tell them? Pong is in here. What's up, my man? Pong is coming on the channel. Ponga is going to come on in the near future. Just drop that. All right, guys. Where am I going to go to get my drama now? Hey, Godly Shad, stick around. You're gonna like some of the discussion today. Okay. All right, let's get into this a little bit. So, it's no secret that in bear markets, right, in kind of the stock market, right, people usually retreat to safer options, right? You kind of get out of the more risky, it has been more like, it used to be like biotech plays. Now it's more like tech plays and kind of the SPACs. Those are the companies that are kind of coming out promising a product or promising this big giant service or business. And, they're kind of, it's almost like pre-IPO money type thing. And there's everyone kind of jumps in those things whenever these go into the moon because, as you think things going up, you pile in, there's money to be made. And, once all those get deflated, right, and things are coming down and all the air is getting let out of everyone's sails, a lot of the money usually retreats to, bonds, to these high interest savings accounts you keep hearing about, people, trying to flood to 4, 5, 6% just for keeping your money there. More of the blue chip stocks, the tried and true companies that have been around forever, that they don't really have crazy, ups and downs. So you're not going to make a ton, but you're also not going to lose a ton. A lot of them have dividends. They're going to pay you just to own the stock. And so that's kind of where money goes to when things are kind of in a correction and things are kind of cooling off. Well, a lot of the same things happen in Pokemon, right? During these times of kind of everything kind of repricing itself and the market cooling off, not everyone feels the need to rush into the brand new stuff, right? You don't feel the need to all rush in and buy every brand new stuff that gets released. We're not seeing the gigantic, Vivid Voltage type stuff where it goes out of the gate up to $200 and crashes back down to $100, during Sword and Shield, during the pandemic stuff. We're not seeing those kind of trends anymore. And so you're not seeing all the brand new sets of Scarlet and Violet go to the moon, right? You're seeing them come out, kind of sort of trend downward, not really have much movement. A lot of the singles still have those big spikes that release or pre-release, and they usually start to kind of fall off, except for 151. 151's holding up well, but 151's kind of its own beast. I wouldn't really try to predict other sets based off 151. It's a whole different animal. It's kind of like comparing Celebrations or like Generations or things like that. But so what happens? So what do you do, right? Everyone's like, well, what do I do? Alex, give me the cards or the products to buy right now. Everyone wants the top 5, top 10 videos. I promise you right now, I can make some random top 10, top 5 video, and it's going to go straight to my number 1 video I've released in the past, whatever, however YouTube does that. And I'm going to get tons of views and whatever, right? The truth is, though, none of this brand new stuff, I don't think there's a rush to get into, right? And that's why I haven't been making a lot of those videos lately, is because I don't see the rush or the short-term gains that you could have made back in Sword and Shield with a lot of those types of items, whether it be like collection boxes, tins, auxiliary products, the mainline booster boxes, ETBs. And same thing goes with a lot of the PC ETBs. I haven't checked today, but as far as I knew, the Mimikyu ETB from Shining or Paldean Fates, it was still available. And I think what I've heard is Roaring Moon just sold out for Paradox Rift PC ETBs, but the Iron Valiant was still available, and those were available days after. So even the hype is coming down from the PC ETBs. The quick flips aren't there as much as they were with 151 and some of the other ones. And the free tendies are going away on a lot of these things. And so you're asking, well, Alex, so what do we do, right? Well, here's the thing. You have to decide for yourself if you believe in this, right? If you believe in this market, because I'm sure you can, pull out whatever, sealed product you want to find, say, well, look at, Godly Shad's in here. We had a good discussion on Discord or on Instagram, but like, you can pull out like Vivid Voltage and say, well, hey, look at Vivid Voltage. It's now back at this price. It's only moved X amount in 5 years. Terrible investment. And then, I could say, well, hey, look at Evolving Skies, or hey, look at some of these other things. And you can kind of go back and forth. The issue is, when you take certain data points and you can kind of make your own narrative up off taking certain data points, and then try to, not look at the good data points, or make up excuses on why certain things moved. Like, oh, well, everything in X, Y, and Sun and Move moved because of the pandemic. Oh, well, Evolving Skies just got pumped to the moon, and, or whatever you want to come with. The truth is, right, is every era, you're going to have some sets that don't move, some sets that move a ton, a lot of sets in between, and over the whole, kind of, I guess, like fund, you could call it, right, the whole era, usually you're going to see a pretty good average gain over long periods of time. So what to look for in this market, in this bearish time in Pokemon, okay? Or what are, getting into the heads of other collectors or other people making plays or investments, what are they looking for? All right, so let's break this down. First off, yes, you are going to have a certain amount of people trying to flock to safer areas of the market, right? So what I mean by safer, things that have already, cooled off, already plummeted, already found their bottoms. Maybe they're stagnant, maybe they're growing a little bit, maybe still falling down. So, people who have been waiting on vintage or some of those things, they're probably starting to, move into that. Obviously, you've seen what's happening with XY. A lot of those boxes are starting to pump. A lot of those cards are starting to pump. It's because people are saying, well, XY has been kind of beat up and hated on. It's time to move back to there. Some of the big hits in vintage and mid-era, like, moving to the gold stars and the crystals and the shinings from Neo and, some of the first edition stuff from WotC that people feel have got beat up enough and are undervalued enough now that maybe it's safer to get in. The main thing to think about when you're investing in anything at all, it's the downside risk, right? You always want to think about the downside risk over the upside potential, because as long as the downside risk is minimal, then even if things go stagnant or trend down a little, you're not losing much of your money, right? Now, things can go to the moon, and playing with the riskier type cards and assets, those things will tend to go higher into spikes, but they'll also dip and crash more into crashes. So what would I look, getting back to what would I look for during these times? Okay, first off, if you are wanting to get into the vintage and wanting to get into the mid-era stuff, right? What I look for, okay, because a lot of the 10s, because the pop reports are lower, people tend to, they're proud of their cards, right? And they price them accordingly. And a lot of that stuff, it is more scarce in the market. And so a lot of times, unless you're finding an auction, in my opinion, you're going to overpay. So what I would look for, because a lot of people are completionists, right, is look for the people look for the cards that the PSA 10s have such a high multiple over PSA 9s, where it might make sense they'll just give up on the PSA 10s. I mean, off the top of my head, and they're not going to be like the most popular Pokemon, right? Like off the top of my head, just thinking about it, like the Dark Magneton from Team Rocket, from first edition, Team Rocket back in 1999, 2000, maybe 2000. That Dark Magneton, it's got such a low pop report, right? And so that makes the 10 incredibly hard to find. I looked on eBay recently. There's still no confirmed sales lately. The only one in the market's like $6,000 or something. But the 9s are pretty plentiful, and they're a lot cheaper. And the multiple in the 10s, like, I don't know, 10x plus from the 9s. So, trying to, maybe move into things like that. Or like another one's like the Brock Hollow Trainer from Gym Heroes first edition. Another incredibly hard card to grade because of the low pop report. People are asking tons of money for it. It goes for a lot of money as a 10. Well, getting in at the 9, right, might be a better play than trying to go after the 10, because it has a lot, percentage-wise, it has a lot more to gain than the 10 might, because, it's such a small market. One of the cards I own, that Silver Dialga from Phantom Forces, right? The 9 has been seeing exponential moves lately because people are finally saying, screw it. It's so hard to get that card. It's so hard to grade it. The only person on the market, is me or someone else at, thousands and thousands of dollars. I'm going to start moving in the 9s because I want the card, and 9s are still mint. And so that you're seeing the 9s move a lot lately. And 10, you don't really know if it's moving because there's just really no sales. So it's something to think about in that route. Another thing to think about, tried and true method, collect popular species. If you're going to do one thing, if you don't want to really dive into all the numbers and pop reports and data, if you want like just a method to where, Alex, just give me a general basis on how do I collect and invest in this stuff going forward. Pick popular species. That's it. That's all there is to it. They're going to be way more liquid when you go to sell, right? They're the ones you can basically auction and get market price for. They're always going to have interest. When you go to collecticons and shows, those are the cards that sell most often, and they're the ones that ask about the most. So like, let's think about it. Like Charizard. As much as we want to talk about Charizard fatigue, right? There's Charizard fatigue right now. A lot of people are kind of trying to look for outside of Charizard because it's been just pumped so much. Pokemon puts it in every set as their big cash cow, but Charizard is still going to be the king when you're moving into a card. Obviously Blastoise, Venusaur lags the other Blastoise and Charizard a bit, but Venusaur is still a good one, right? So the big three, Pikachu, obviously, especially promos. Pikachu promos do extremely well. Always moving to Pikachu's. Rayquaza, we got Mewtwo and Mew. Definitely Mewtwo and Mew are good choices. Always popular. Gengar, right? Gengar is one of the most popular Pokemon right now. People are wanting to pick up. Umbreon, really any of the evolutions, but Umbreon's really the big one. Lugia, like your Celebes, obviously Giratina now with some of the new era. Stick to those type of species, right? If all else fails and Pokemon really takes a dip and the popularity falls, those are the species that are still going to sell. Even in a market where a lot of things are stagnant, a lot of things aren't selling, those are the species that still sell. Those are the cards people still want to pick up for their collections. Even if things aren't worth as much, they just want to buy them because they like them. They're not worried as much about the value. So those are kind of two routes to take. You can take the completionist route, right, and go for maybe the lower grades, maybe go for the less popular Pokemon, but they're part of a set, like, Shining Legends, right? Well, if someone wants to collect the whole Shining set, right? Well, you got the Mewtwo, the Shining Lugia and the Shining Celebi, Shining Ho-Oh, which are all those three are promos. And then you got like the Shining Rayquaza, the Shining Mew, and maybe like Shining Jirachi. I mean, there's a few of them that are up there, but then like all the other ones, like Shining Genesect, Shining Volcanion, Shining I can't think of them all off the top of my head, but like some of those, you can say, hey, a lot of these PSA 10s, they're like 25, 30, 35, $40. Maybe there'll be enough completionists in the future that they're just going to want all the Shinings. I'll move into a lot of these this low. The risk is so low at this point. I mean, how much farther down can cards go graded as a 10 from 25, 30, 35, $40? So you can kind of take that route, the completionist route. You can take the route of buying the lower grades when the 10 pop is so low, and people are going to like give up eventually on the 10 and just want the 9. So eventually the 9 price are going to rise. You can take the route of going after this popular species, right? And that route. So those are like a few routes you can take when you're moving into some of these cards, right? As far as sealed product, I'm also taking kind of a breather. I'm not rushing into every set. I've talked about it. I still don't own Obsidian Flames, no position. I still don't own Paradox Rift. I have no position. I have some 151, not a huge position. And I have some Paldea and base set because the boxes were just going so cheap. To where it's less about then when I was buying that. Now I'm really trying to make my money work, but back then I still had a full-time job and stuff. So it was less about like how long it was going to sit dead money, and more about how cheap can I get. If I can get these boxes in the low 80s, I'm going to get them. And so so basically that's where I'm at right now. What I'm looking for now? Well, I'm still looking at Sword and Shield era. I'm looking at these sets that are a year and a half, 2 years, 2.5, even 3 years old, that I can still buy, good sets for like $100 to $110 to $150 range. A lot of people think, oh, it's too high to invest when it's already at $130, $140, $150. I don't really believe in that. Here's the thing. A lot of these sets, right? Looking at Fusion Strike, it's breaking 150. Trow, you in the chat? I'm sure you're loving this. It's breaking 150. Chilling Rain, it's breaking 150. Why is that done? Why is it done not investable at that point? Where do you think it's going to stop? Like when it gets to like 175, 200, you think that's it? Like, oh, your only upside's 200. In my mind, the upside of these boxes, I mean, the sky's the limit. I mean, if we're seeing sets in XY and Sun and Moon continue to rise, guys, take the boom and the pandemic and all that out of it. The stuff's still rising today. We are seeing bigger runs today in 2023 on a lot of those sets than we did in 2021 and 2020. So people are still going to want to come back and buy these sets, right? And what happens is people do what I'm doing right now in Scarlet and Violet. They'll wait too long. They'll say, I got time. Maybe life will happen. They got other things going on. They'll come back to Pokemon in a year and say, oh my gosh, I want those sets now. Oh my gosh, all those cards. And so, yeah, I mean, I still believe in those sets going to $200, $300, $400, $500 in the long future. I'm talking like, 3, 5, 7 years. And so I don't think it's a bad play, but that's me, right? That's me. Especially all the alt art sets. When I can buy Brilliant Stars in the 130s, when you can buy Astral Radiance in the 120s, 130s, obviously Chilling Rain, Fusion Strike, Silver Tempest still in the low hundreds, 110s, Lost Origin in 130s now, the reprints drying up, when you can get Crown Zenith ETBs now under $40, which is insane. Like, guys, Pokemon Go didn't drop much lower than the low 30s, right? Shining Fates didn't drop under the low 30s. We're seeing Crown Zenith there. If Crown Zenith is not a screaming buy to you, maybe you're just not a Pokemon investor. I mean, maybe you just really don't believe in this stuff, and this is not where you should be putting your money. That's really what that tells me. If Crown Zenith doesn't look, that seems like a screaming obvious buy to me. Under $400 a case, under $40 an ETB. Going back to Sun and Moon and XY, going back to the completionist argument, right? There's a lot of sets in Sun and Moon XY that would, I mean, a lot of people think it's weak. Those are weak eras, especially the early part of Sun and Moon, especially XY. But there's a lot of sealed booster box collectors. There's a lot of these completionists that want to buy everything. And as people keep going back to that, they're going to want to buy all the sealed products, even if it's not, the greatest set. So even if it's like a Forbidden Light in Sun and Moon, or if it's like a Guardians Rising or Sun and Moon base, even an XY, if it's like a Steam Siege, or it's like a, Primal Clash or a Furious Fist, the reason we're seeing those things rise is because there's not infinite amount of those out there, and whatever's on the market's on the market. And as soon as things that people start wanting them and they start, rising higher and higher, and then other sellers see that, the sellers usually aren't going to, unless they're just desperate, they're not going to keep undercutting each other back down to what they were selling at. No, the price is rising those things because they're not gigantic stores who have hundreds and thousands of supply that can crush the market and will dump things just to free up capital. Those 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old products, that doesn't happen anymore usually. And so, yeah, I mean, it might make sense to buy into a lot of those boxes that are, 5+ years old that you can still find in the $300, $400, $500, $600, $700, $800 range. It's just, in my mind, that seems cheap for a lot of those products, especially when you see how hard a lot of those cards are to actually find in mint condition on the market these days. They're very hard. I mean, go look up a lot of those top hits and those Sun and Moon and XY sets. Go look at what they're going for, near mint. Go look at the pictures on eBay and find any cards you can find actually gradable. And so when you're talking about finding those 9s and 10s in the market, it's very hard, which will help the value of the sealed product as well as the scarcity. So I think those are a lot of good plays right now in this down market when you don't need to be rushing out and finding the next best thing all the time. There's always going to be plays. Obviously, Felt Hat Pikachu is still booming. There's always going to be things like there's always going to be little plays. Obviously, 151, a lot of those singles are still doing well. A lot of those PSA 10s are doing well. So there's always going to be little plays to make. As far as like the flips and things, I'll get into, making money on flips and things like that in a different video. There's always going to be plays, right? Bull market, bear market, there's always a play to be made. Because here's the thing, if you're buying in at a lower cost, you're grading and selling the graded cards. Well, yeah, you're selling it lower than it was, but you bought in lower. So a lot of the margin's still there. Same thing with like your flipping collections. Well, the collections are going to be going lower because the cards are valued less. So usually the margins aren't as affected as the prices are, if that makes sense. So that's kind of a lot of the things I see happening and how to kind of go about, navigating this market. As far as like long-term investing, whether you're investing in sealed product, I talk about a lot of sealed products, but singles, right? Look for the singles that have such small amounts of downside risk that you almost can't lose, but huge upside potentials. All right, what comes to mind right away? Trainer galleries. Trainer gallery cards have here. Let's do that. Let's share the screen. Let's look at some of those trainer gallery cards. Okay. I'm going to pull up TCG Player and I'll show you what I mean. And guys, I'll get to the chat in just a second. I just want to touch on a few more points. All right. So let's look at, was Brilliant Stars the first trainer gallery? I think it was the first one. But like Brilliant Stars is the perfect example of this, of having like such little downside risk on a lot of these. So yeah, a lot of these are already valued high, but go down the list a little bit. Guys, these evolutions, right? You can call it Blue or Gary, whatever you want to call them, but Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon, Eevee, these are $3, $2 cards. How much lower could something go, right? What's your risk on buying something like this? So let's say, you could literally buy 10 copies of all these, be in like what, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So basically you could buy 10 copies of all these right now. It costs you about what a booster box costs. And then, what's your risk? Like going down a little, maybe. I mean, the factor of what you could make on these cards, right? These cards can, if you don't see these cards possibly going to $5, $7, $8, $10 a piece in the future, then don't do it. But I mean, it's a very real possibility these cards they can catch fire. People can start appreciating them again. I mean, you could literally make 2, 3, 4x on your money on some of these with a downside risk of little to nothing. Talking about celebrations. All right. Celebrations right now. A lot of these cards are still extremely low for the value. I mean, these are the first reprints, not the Charizard, but these other cards. These are the first reprints of the base hollows, the Blastoise and the Venusaur since what? I don't know, Legendary Collection. I think so. Like these haven't got reprinted. They didn't get reprinted in Evolutions. Evolutions didn't have these. So being able to buy these at $4 and $6 market prices, the birthday Pikachu at $5. I mean, even the Gold Star Umbreon, Shining Magikarp, like a lot of these cards, I mean, these are getting a little pricey, but the downside risk compared to the upside potential is so low in some of these cards that it almost just makes sense to throw a few darts at a board, because if these do catch fire in the future, you're going to see exponential gains because dollar-wise, it doesn't seem exponential. Okay, a card goes from $5 to $10. Big deal, you made $5. It's the percentage gain. It's 100%. If you have, 10, 20 of those cards, and I mean, when you look at these, you say, well, Alex, can you really get rid of all? Yeah, you can easily flip them. Here's the market. I mean, yeah, here's yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, yeah. I mean, 10, 20 of these sell a day. This is just TCG Player. So there's easily enough interest in things like I said, popular Pokemon, Pikachu, Blastoise, Venusaur, things like Umbreon. They have enough liquidity to sell. So yeah, when you move into positions of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 cards, you can move out of those positions too in the future in a matter of days or weeks, right? And so, yeah, you can realize those 100% gains as those things happen because to the general person, the general collector, it's not that big of a deal, right? Again, getting into the mindset of collectors, it's not that big of a deal if they want to complete a master set to pay $10 for a card, even though they know it used to be $5. Big deal, it's $5. Well, $5 times, 20, 30, 40, 50 copies times, Pikachu, Blastoise, Venusaur, all these other copies. Now you're talking about hundreds and hundreds of dollars that you can realize on these at very little risk, right? And so, those are things to think about going forward. Kind of taking your mind off the brand new stuff, the Paldean Fates, the Paradox Rift, the 151. When you kind of go back to sets that have been out year and a half, 2 years, 2.5 years, 5 years, 10 years, all the dust has settled, right? All the quick tender, it's all gone. And so moving in now, when strategic people come in where they see value where others don't right now, that's where you can really make those exponential gains in the future on cards, is not chasing, the felt hat Pikachus to the moon, not chasing things on the way up, but getting things while they're down. Same thing goes for all of the alt arts right now. I mean, obviously, like the Lugia V alt art right now, this is just one of them, but I mean, they are beat up. They're beat to death. This is 1 year. This was a $200 card. It's selling for like $100 near mint. Here, let me pull up near mint. It is selling for, drum roll, please. We're okay. $100. That is a 50% drop. 50%. Is this going to go down forever? Is that what we're going to say? It's never going to recover. I mean, a card that's where these alt arts are like 1 in 500 packs to pull. Is that really how it's going to be? I mean, these are the things you need to think about. Is like maybe the reprint, and the more supply of these cards and the bearishness of the market, maybe this is a little more beat up than it should be right now. Maybe there is some opportunity there and all the other alt arts going down the list. So, these are just some things to think about trying to navigate through this market right now. We're not going to see those, the crazy gains. We're not going to, that's why I haven't had the top 5, top 10 videos to buy right now before it's too late, because it's not really too late. Anything you can buy today, you can buy tomorrow. Talking about like the Black Friday deals. I'm so happy Black Friday's almost here that we can stop hearing about it. Everyone's always, oh man, we're waiting for Black Friday. We're filling our piggy banks for Black. It's all about Black Friday. Let me let you know a little secret, guys. And this is going to burst a lot of bubbles. Black Friday deals are not going to be that great. Just saying it. Everything you've been seeing on TikTok in the past months, that's the true Black Friday. That's it. You've already been experiencing it. The deals on TikTok are probably going to blow away anything you see on Black Friday. I hate to burst your bubble. There's not that. These stores don't just give stuff away. Like, they're going to be a lot cheaper. There's going to be plays out. There's going to be deals to be had. But everything that's been happening on TikTok, that's the true Black Friday. If you've been wanting to find deals and things that are guaranteed profits and zero downside risk, basically, TikTok is where it's been. The TikTok shops, these TikTok giving these 30% off coupons or whatever, being able to buy booster boxes that in the 60s or 70s, buying ETBs in the 20s or teens sometimes, that's you're missing it. That's where it's at. So everyone waiting for Friday and they're going to go out and try to, scalp all these deals. I think you're going to be disappointed. That's all I'm going to say. I think you're going to be a little more disappointed than you think. And guess what? And then it's over. Then we'll have Cyber Monday. People will find some Cyber Monday deals. And guess what? Then it's December. Then we're getting to Christmas. And then people are going to say, hey, all that stuff's over. All the big hype of the Black Friday, the Cyber Monday, it's all over. Now what? Now we're going to go back to buying regular. Now all the people who saved up all that money and didn't spend it because they realized it wasn't really as many deals, they're going to spend it somewhere. And it's probably going to be other parts of the market. So that's kind of a little bit of my rant today. Sorry, guys. I didn't have any crazy numbers, data, statistics planned today. I just wanted to kind of rants a little bit about investing in this side of the market, being more strategic, more thought out, more planned, and less like buy, hype, rush, there's quick flip, quick tendies. We're just not there. So let's see what the chat's been saying, see if we can expound any more of those points. What anyone else saying about it? All right, what do we got going on in here? Okay, we have Jay Birday. I think it's fun to bust people's balls on YouTube. Oh, man, I've been getting my balls busted a lot on YouTube these days. Trying to see what's going on. Okay, I'm back there again. Corn Hub. What'd I miss? Sorry, Alex. Thoughts and prayers with you and your family. You didn't miss anything. I appreciate that, though. Thank you. Thanks, guys. I appreciate all that. Appreciate all the thoughts and prayers. Didn't know Roaring Moon sold out. That's what I've heard. I didn't check here. We can check right now. What am I doing? We're live. We don't gotta wait. All right, Pokemon Center. I'm sure I misspelled that. That's okay. eBay will help me out. eBay. I meant Google will help me out. All right, Pokemon Center. Let's go to the trading card game. Let's check it out. That's what I've heard is that it's sold out. So here's Iron Valiant. It's not up here, so it seems like it's probably sold out. Let's go ahead and search Paradox Rift. And yep, there it is. Sold out. Confirmed. Suspicions are confirmed. Roaring Moon is now sold out on the Pokemon Center. That's probably why the ETBs I still had listed sold out on TCG Player because I was selling some of mine. Makes sense. So there you go. Roaring Moon sold out. Iron Valiant is probably gonna be close to follow. We'll see what happens. People talking about disputes with the Pokemon Company. I'm not getting into all that. You guys figure that out with the Pokemon Company. Honestly, I'm going to talk about that too. This isn't, again, not getting into any drama or going after any creators, right? But guys, I have been in this hobby now for 8+ years now. Okay. I've sold 1,000+ items on eBay. Hundreds on TCG Player. I've bought thousands of items between eBay, TCG Player, Facebook Marketplace, Instagrams, Discords. I mean, I bought it all over. I don't understand the amount of negativity, the amount of scams and thefts and disputes with I don't get it. I've never dealt with any of it. I'm one person. I get it, but I mean, I've done a lot of transactions both ways, selling and buying in this community in 8 years. I've never had one issue. I mean, other than like the random TCG Player, envelope getting lost in the mail or something with like a $5 card in it. It happens. It's probably the mail. I mean, maybe it's someone, really getting one over it on me, like saying they didn't get the package when they did. I don't know. But other than those little things, I've never had anything go wrong. And I've sold items for thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. So I don't get it. I don't know I just think it's really overblown. I think the negativity in this community is so overblown lately. There's not that many scammers out there. There's not that many people out to get you. There's not that many people selling fake cards there's just not that much of it out there. I'm sorry for those of you who have to go through it. It does happen. I'm not claiming it doesn't happen. It's just so few and far between, but the way the internet makes it and YouTube and makes it sound, it makes it sound like it's happening everywhere and it's widespread. Guys, it's not. It's not widespread. So I'm just going to leave that there. It's not as widespread as people make it seem. Godly Shad, I think mini sets are super collectible. Yes, Shining Charizard will always be the most expensive, but once someone buys the Shining Charizard, then what? Yeah. No, I agree with that. Shining from Neo Destiny, the two from Neo Revelation, but then like Shining Legends, same thing there. Collecting all the alt arts, right? Like we could see a lot of the less popular alt arts move in the future, right? Going to those sets, people might want to be an alt art collector. guys, it's not just the big alt arts. There's alt arts in those sets, right? There's alt arts in Sun and Moon that are going for like, I don't know, sub $10 just because they're not popular Pokemon. They're not a sought after alt arts, whatever it may be. But that could be a thing, like going after some of those lower valued alt arts. I mean, I talked about it before, that Pokemon Go, the Mewtwo, flying over the city. I mean, that thing's super cheap. It's like a sub $20 card. It's a sub $100 PSA 10 alt art. I mean, that thing can catch fire. Like, there's just so many opportunities out there in cards. And really, it's just about you seeing opportunity where others don't and putting your money where your mouth is. And that's where a lot of the plays come from. And a lot of those gains are realized are just, areas where everyone's not looking now, but then for some reason, whether it be a YouTuber blows it up or, Instagram or just whatever it does, whatever attention it gets people back there. It's, and here, going back to that whole like conspiracy stuff and all the bad stuff happening in the community, it's not that things are being pumped or anyone's like manipulating the market when those things happen. It's just the fact that it drew people's eyes to it. And there's new collectors in the game every single day. And there's people that come back in the hobby and they're constantly finding new cards and they're constantly refining cards that, now they do appreciate it more. Now they do want them. And it gets everyone's eyes on that area. And it only takes a small amount of those eyes to start buying up and wanting them to rise the price. It doesn't mean there's anything nefarious going on. It's just how collectibles work. And so those things can happen. I mean, PokeRev makes a video, right? Or, some of the big creators. I don't know, Real Breaking Nate makes a video, or Leonhardt makes a video, or Unlisted Leaf, or, Danny Phantom, like, makes these videos. Everyone, it's not that they're pumping them. They just make a video. They bring it to their attention, right? And then all of a sudden they're like, wow, I really do like those cards. Wow, they do seem kind of scarce. I better get one before they're gone. And then guess what? They're gone. And then people who hold those, they're saying, wow, there's been a run up. I'm going to list mine, see if I can get higher. Boom, it sells. Oh, wow. And more people. And that's kind of how markets move. It's kind of the natural state of collectible markets, right? I mean, they don't move linear. And it's not always a pump and dump scheme. It's just where the majority of the market's interest lies at certain times throughout the hobby throughout the years. So that's kind of where those plays can come from. Do you use a specific metric to know when a graded card that is trending downwards, like alt arts, has bottomed out and it may be time to buy? You know what? I don't have like a specific metric. You can tell a lot from the charts. You can tell a lot from the charts when you see a card, that's fallen, when you see it stagnate, right? And stop falling and maybe even stop rising. Maybe it has some sort of dead cat bounce and then kind of, fizzles out again. When you see things go stagnant flat, right? And, people are still buying it, right? There's still buyers and sellers, right? It's not like it's illiquid and no one's buying it, but it's kind of flat. People are willing to sell and buy at the same price that's usually a time where you see it's hit a bottom. It's not that it can't go lower. It has a lot lower chance of going lower. And I talked about it before. Usually it's going to be higher than where it was before the pump, right? So if it was a $100 card, it got pumped to 200. It's usually going to settle somewhere between there, right? Usually probably in I would think 120s, 130s, 140s range when it does fall, like on average. That's kind of what I see on average. Like you can put that into anywhere, $50 to $100 card, $500 to $1,000 card. But it usually cards usually don't fall back all the way to the old lows. They usually set a higher low, but it's usually pretty far off the tops. And so when I see those things happening, that's when I usually see it's a safer time to move in a card or a box. Josh, hey, I'm gonna give Josh a shout out. Josh Abanoa, selling my Gem Mint PSA 10 Zapdos Hollow for a good price. Let me know if y'all want it, guys. Hit up Josh if you want a Zapdos. There you go, Josh. You're welcome. Maybe Alex could be the middleman. We ship to him and he sends them to us. What are we talking about here? I missed something. I don't have a middleman service, guys. I'm not insured for that. I wouldn't want to get into all that. I'd have to get some type of insurance before I started any of that crazy stuff. I don't think anyone is really going to care about modern shining cards from Sun and Moon, considering the rest of the completion of shiny material we're getting today. And hey, Pokey, that's your that's your mentality you can go off of and invest, accordingly. I kind of talked that in my last video where I said I'm kind of getting out of all the drama. I mean, that's exactly right. Like, if you don't believe in this, I'm not trying to convince anyone out there. Like, I'm not trying to shill products. I'm not trying to like get anyone to be a modern seal investor or a Pokemon investor like me. I'm here for anyone who does want to invest and does like this stuff and wants to collect it to help like enhance, make you a better buyer, a better collector, better investor. So look, if you don't believe in this stuff, don't buy it. Absolutely. If you don't see it going up, here's the thing. Other people do. And, some are right, some are wrong. Time will tell. But yeah, absolutely. If you don't believe in it, don't buy it. Pokemon Wonder always trying to help the statistics. I appreciate it, man. 100 watching, only 24 likes. I hit those like button. I need, Pokemon Wonder, man. You're like a mod without mod status. Do I need to start giving out mods for the people who help out the YouTube algo for me? I still have yet to make one mod on my Discord or YouTube channel. Should I make one soon? That's the question. That is the question. Let's see. You should talk about the macroeconomics actually affect the Pokemon market. Why is nobody talking about this? If money becomes scarce, everybody is going to dump and sell. It's not true though, right? Like, it's just not true. Like, there's no, like, if you go back and look at other times in history when we have recessions, like, go back and look at 2008, right? And look at like other like industry, other collectibles. Like, go look at like all the other collectible, markets, coins, art, classic cars. Like, not everything goes to zero, right? I mean, things dip, right? Everything dips, but not everyone fire sells, right? I think the misconception in this hobby is everyone in this hobby is living paycheck to paycheck and they need this money tomorrow. Guys, I've said it before. I've yet to find people like, I don't think I've talked to anyone who's struggling financially, living paycheck to paycheck, throwing all this on a credit card, crossing their fingers, everything goes to the moon. Most people here have long-term mindsets. And so if things take a little dip, right, or the economy, maybe things go a little less liquid, right? Maybe there'll be other plays people are trying to make. Maybe people just don't sell. Maybe people do find good deals at auctions for the ones that do have to sell. But I don't. And here's the thing, Pokey. If you would have followed my channel more, I've made a video before about a lot of the macroeconomic issues. I did a video breaking down credit card debt, right? And I showed it was, over 1 trillion or whatever. But I also showed that the credit card, the servicing of that debt, the delinquencies were some of the lowest ever. And I went back like 50 or 30 or 50 years. It had some of the lowest delinquencies ever on credit card, meaning, yeah, people are putting more money on credit cards, but they're paying their bills. Same thing with cars. Repossessions were some of the lowest numbers they've been. House foreclosures were still very low, way lower than any of the other recessions. And so, yeah, things are more expensive. Interest rates are up. People are still paying all their bills, though. So everyone buying it, people say, oh, no one can afford this stuff. Well, someone's paying their bills, right? So someone's paying it. As far as savings, people are talking about the macroeconomics of people's savings account dropping. Okay, great. Has anyone looked at the 401ks? It was just put out like, I can probably find that statistic. It was put out like a bunch of, here, 401k, new 401k millionaires. All right, let's see. There was an article put out. Here it is. All right, by Fidelity. There were more than 378,000 new people that have over $1 million net worth in their 401ks. So you're having more and more wealth, right, continue to grow in these investment accounts. So, savings accounts are dropping. What does that mean? Well, maybe people are investing more. They're taking out of savings because people don't want money sitting in the bank, and they're putting it into investments. They're putting it into Pokemon. They're putting it elsewhere. They're buying nicer houses. They're fixing up their houses. So they're making their house, their property investment go up. Maybe they're spending the money elsewhere because, again, all the debt is being serviced. So the macroeconomics right now, they're not looking as bad as, the news and the drama and all the doom and gloom channels make it. Not talking about the Pokemon doom and gloom, just overall economic doom and gloom channels make it sound like the Robert Kiyosaki's, right? Everyone sell everything, everything's going to zero, buy gold, buy real estate. It's not as bad as people are making it sound. And so, yeah, I mean, I've talked about the macroeconomics of it before, and you know, it's uncertain that if everything went to zero, Pokemon would probably follow, but everything's not going to zero. So no, I don't see Pokemon dropping off a cliff. Pokemon Go has no liquidity. Sure, it'll never go down further, but if you want to buy 100 boxes, you won't be able to sell those in 2 years. It's hard to sell that set. I mean, here, again, we can't just make. I'm not going to take every question from Pokey because he's obviously very, very bearish in this market, but we have to at least put numbers to these opinions because you can't just say things if they can't be backed up. So let's see if you're right. Pokemon Go. Let's go look at the ETB. Where is it? There it is. Pokemon Go ETB. Clear the filters. Okay. So we've got in the past week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So about 13 boxes sell just on TCG Player in the past week. Okay, we've got. Let's go see what the case is. So that's there's that. We've got how many cases here? Okay, not many cases. All right, so it's pretty illiquid. But then we have to go to eBay too, right? Go to eBay. Pokemon Go Elite Trainer Box. Go ahead and do that. We can look at the sales on that guy. Check it out. All right. Got one there, another one here. I mean, sending an auction. A bunch of people auctioning them. Wow. Sales there, sales there. There's quite a bit of sales. I mean, this guy's auctioning Darkness Blaze and Pokemon Go together. But there's still quite a bit of sales on these things. And we're only on the 17th. You can see how many. Here's the thing. Like, you see all these auctions getting dumped. Eventually that runs out. Like, here's the thing. Like, eventually supply does run out, contrary to what people think. Eventually all these auctions are over. Look at these amount of auctions. Look at this. We're still on the 16th. Then you have all these sales in between. I don't know, man. There's a lot of sales being made. And you can see they're all ending at like $50, so about 25 a piece. 25 a piece. I mean, it's definitely really low. But yeah, I mean, we're back. So yeah, Pokemon Go is definitely pretty illiquid. If you want to just throw it at auction, you're definitely not getting much money for it. So hey, Pokey's pretty right on Pokemon Go. It's definitely going to take long to sell that set if you're moving into large positions of it. But it's not indicative of the whole market. There's a lot of things that, I mean, I've auctioned stuff recently. I mean, I've been auctioning some of my PSA cards, and they're going right at market price, some a little lower, some higher than the buy it nows. So it just depends on what you're in. Pokemon Go is such an outlier, right? It's probably the worst performing specialty set ever released. So yeah, I mean, that's why we're here. Like, we can pull it up and show exactly what's going on. So there you go. That claim he made is pretty accurate. We'll give him that. No, you shouldn't invest into the market blindly and buy any cards. That's not how it works now. Since Pokemon is printing the best looking cards every set, completionists will be very rare. Here's the thing. I talked about this in my drama video, like saying I'm done with drama. Pokey, let me ask you this. Why do you, if you're so against this stuff, why do you come to Pokemon investment channels? Like, I don't find myself, I'm sure a lot of people don't, I don't go to like crypto channels and say, oh my gosh, this stuff's so stupid. Why would you invest in this? Don't invest in crypto. This stuff's all going to zero. The US government's going to make their own crypto. They're going to ban this crypto. Or I don't go to like Lego investing channels. Oh my God, you're investing in Lego. This is so stupid. Or like, why do you come? I always think this is hilarious. People come to Pokemon investing channels just to tell people that invest in Pokemon how they don't think it's a good idea. They don't do it. It's just like, dude, cool. Like, no one here is being swayed by you not liking it. Like, you're one person, right? I don't get it. It's crazy. Trying to find some good questions in here. The earlier you buy cards from TCG Player, the higher the quality of the cards within a year of release. You will get a lot more PSA 10 worthy cards than, say, a set like Herbal Clash. Yeah, absolutely. Great point, Ivan. Yeah, so brand a lot of the brand new stuff within the last year or two, you have a lot better chance of getting near mint copies that are gradable in 10s and even 9s. As you get further back into like Sun and Moon, XY era, even further, it's much harder. You're going to get a lot of 7s and 8s, right? And some people are going to try to pass, let play cards by as near mint. And you got to, go through return processes and stuff. As you move farther and farther back, I would definitely go like in person, like card shops, shows or eBay and look at pictures, because it's going to be a lot harder to find raw cards as time ages them. Because what happens, guys, I'll tell you what happens. All right, I'll kind of pull back the veil a little bit. Here's what happens. A lot of people like me and other people in the settlement community, they buy large quantities of single cards, all right? I mean, 20, 40, 60, 100, whatever it may be. And you're going to get them all in, right? And you're going to take out the best looking ones and grade them. And then I'm going to sell all the rest back onto the market that aren't gradable. And that's going to happen again and again and again until eventually all the nice copies are taken out and all you got left are all like the 7, 8s and 9s basically. You're always going to have some of the, random collectors. And here's the thing about TCG Player, which is it's opposite from what you might hear. It actually pays to buy from some of the low feedback, the newer sellers, because a lot of those people are just like collectors, or maybe they open some packs and pulled the card. They want to sell it and try to get some money for it. And sometimes those aren't gradable. The real big stores that have, tens of thousands of sales, a lot of them, they grade themselves and they've already went through all the cards and they have tons of copies available. That's the reason. So, that's kind of, some of the ways to go about TCG Player. It doesn't always, hurt to go after the sellers that are actually lower feedback, because a lot of them haven't sorted out the cards as much. If they have good feedback still, like maybe they have 10 sales, but they have 100% feedback, you can actually do well with some of those sellers. Buying singles for $1, hoping they flip for $5 worth the time? Do you sell them in bulk for that sort of play? So here's the thing: it's only worth the time if you're like doing this seriously. Maybe if you're doing it as like a business and you want to have some long-term positions. If you just you're active in the hobby and you're just looking for gains anywhere you can find them, it can be. I mean, here's the thing: like there's a lot of cards that you could sell out of a 20, 30 card position in a week, and so, yeah, it could be worth the time. I mean, so let's say you buy 30 cards for $1, okay? $30, well, you're into that. And they go to $5. Well, now if you sell what? 7 or 8 cards, even after fees and shipping, let's say 8 or 9. 8 or 9 of those cards after fees and shipping, you're already have all your money back. And now you have 21, 22 cards, 100% paid for at $5. I mean, it's a $100 gain off a $30 investment. It's not bad. I mean, and then as you go up the ladder, it gets even more exponential. Like buy a $5 card and it goes to like, I don't know, 15 or something. I mean, it's all about what you're looking to do. Like if you're looking for, large positions, booster boxes, I feel like are always the most liquid, and they're at a higher dollar amount. So you're going to realize gains faster. But people, there's all, you got to remember, there's all different people in this community. Not everyone can buy cases of booster boxes. People don't have hundreds and thousands of dollars to put into a product and let sit. But a lot of people have 20, 30 bucks laying around, right? And, instead of going out and getting that pizza, hey, I'm going to eat at home tonight. I'll I'll make a box of, ramen noodles or something. And I'm going to put some money into this card. I believe in this Jolteon card. And so I'm just trying to lay out plays for kind of like each income bracket or each income level that you can, because too much, I feel like, you get that gatekeeping mentality where you're talking about things that are way too expensive or, kind of out of reach for the general public. But then a lot of people, kind of feel discouraged by that. Like, oh my gosh, I need to have a lot of money to do this. You don't though. You don't. You can. And here's another thing. This doesn't have to be like you're a big like financial investment. This could be a way you build your collection for free. I mean, think about it. If you have a bunch of cards that you want and you want for your collection, well, maybe buy a few copies, right? Put the one in your binders that you want. Let the other few copies sit. Maybe they rise over time. Now you can sell off those copies and boom, your whole binder's paid for just for doing a little bit of legwork. It's a way to build your collection for free. So there's a lot of different reasons, Adam, but it might not be for you. It's not everything's for everyone in this hobby. I've 100% learned that. Put yourself into the future person who's entering into the hobby. They wouldn't try to get some niche set like Rebel Trash. They'll be looking for the best looking cards. Not true. 100% not true, Pokey. I will stop you there. I've had, in the past month, yeah, I guess 2 months, with Pokemon 151 releasing, I've had at least 15 to 20 messages from 15 to 20 different people, okay, telling me, hey, Alex, I just got back into the hobby with 151. I've been looking at a lot of older sets. What's going on with this breakthrough set? These Mewtwo's look really cool. What's going on with this? These whatever set cards in Sun and Moon, or I mean, even going farther back to like vintage. Like people start to dig into the hobby, you already know what they're gonna like. Like people are gonna like all different sorts of things. That's definitely a wrong way of thinking. I can make a video. I think I will. I'll make a video of so many different pockets of this hobby. They're actually seeing growth right now during this downtime that you wouldn't think. Like there's certain promos, English, not talking about Japanese or any of that full hat Pikachu stuff. Like there's certain English promos from like, even like all the way back in vintage, modern, XY Sun and Moon Sword and Shield that are seeing, tremendous growth and seeing, people are a lot of liquidity. You're seeing certain sets, sealed product and cards alike. You're seeing, you're just seeing interest all over this hobby where it's not just straight into brand new stuff, right? People find the hobby for the brand new stuff. A lot of people still like the brand new stuff, but it's not the only thing. I have proof of that. It's just not, that's a wrong way of thinking. Now might be the best time to pick up Charizard UPC. Yeah, here's the thing, Charizard UPC, guys. It's going to happen faster than you think. Mark my words. I can't put a time limit on it. Like, right? It's like calling the end of the world. I can't call it, but I'm sure it's going to end one day. With the Charizard UPC, as all the Sword and Shield sets continue to age and rise in price, all of those booster packs rise in price, right? Eventually, people are going to figure out, wait, I can just open mass amounts of these, especially like card shops and online sellers or pack breakers. I can rip mass amounts of these and actually make more money off the packs and the promos than the items worth. And that will happen. People will open those at mass eventually. The promos are still holding up well. They go for about $10 or so a piece. Eventually, those will get opened at mass as these sets continue to rise into the $200, $300 a booster box. And those products will become scarce because very few people will hold on to them because everyone chases the quick tendies. And if they know they can make a, $20, $30, $40, $50 profit, they're going to do it. And they're going to do it in mass. And then what happens is there's so few of the actual sealed product left. And that's when those things actually rise in value. And yeah, they'll rise in value just because the pack price and the promos rise, whatever, too. But there will come a time, mark my words, the Charizard UPCs will be a play. I don't know when, they will be a play. $151's a sleeper set. What do you mean? It's like, it's on everyone's radar. It's up front and center. I don't think anyone's sleeping on 151. I'd rather have a PSA 10 Giratina alt art, for example, with more 10 population than an inferior English Giratina 186. An inferior. That's just 100%. That is a 100% preference. Because me, I've tried, right? Ray, if you're out there, if you're watching, I went to Ray's table at Collecticon. I opened Japanese boxes with him. I held the cards. I looked at them. Don't like them. Don't like them. A lot of other people out there don't like them. A lot of other people out there do. I'll take a PSA 10 English card over any Japanese card any day of the week if they have the same. Now, you've seen I have Japanese PSA 10s if they didn't make them in English, if it's a Japanese exclusive. But if they make the same card in English, I just like the English card. I like people to read my cards. I don't know, just me. So that's definitely a preference thing, Purple Porygon. I gotta say that. But hey, there's a lot of people that agree with you. A lot of Japanese collectors out there these days. I get it. My thinking for a while is singles will outpace sealed because if you have ever opened Evolving Skies, you will know how likely you are to pull that Moonbryon, but you can buy a Moonbryon for $450. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. Sealed product rises over time due to scarcity. People collect the sealed product. You'll see. I mean, if you go back and look, just go back and look, Ivan. Go back and look at XY, Sun and Moon. Go look at Black and White. Go look at what the boxes cost compared to what the top hits in the set cost. They're very far removed from each other. I know people think that way. Everyone always wants to try to compare the EV and the cards to the actual box. They separate. After the first 2, 3, 4 years, They separate. I'm telling you. Roach's Pokemon. Appreciate the love, my man. Thanks for being in here. Dude, 35 an ETB for Crown Zenith on Amazon. What are you talking about, bro? What am I talking about? I'm talking about I think it's a great pickup. Simple as that. I'm talking about for the long term, right? For the next 3, 5, 7 years. Here, in my mind, right? I don't see a world where in 5 years that ETB is not going to be $60 to $70. That's just how I feel. And so if I'm thinking to myself, well, I could put that money in the S&P and maybe make about 60, 70% of my money in 5 years, or I can make, or I could put it here, possibly make more, because I think that's like a low end. When you look at Champion's Path, it's almost at 100. When you look at Hidden Fates, when you look at these other ETBs, I think it's going to do better. So, but you may not. You may think it's going to sit there forever. It's going to be another Pokemon Go. Great. Then don't buy it. It's just, guys, I'm not trying to convince anyone to invest in Pokemon. All I'm doing is anyone who's already investing and likes to invest in Pokemon and believes in it, I'm trying to point out the plays that I see that I'm making myself. That's it. So, Pokey, if you don't believe in this stuff, don't do it, man. Just don't. I'm not trying to convince you of it. Yes, TikTok deals are a must. Sooner or later, they will stop handing out these coupons. Yeah, absolutely. Get them while you can. TikTok doesn't have unlimited money. They got a lot of it. It's not unlimited. Yeah, the Phantom Force Gengar, there's another card. Great. People will go back and collect that. It's like 9 years old now. All kinds of stuff people will find back in the hobby. Mason, what's up, man? We got Magic up on the shelf. Dude, I got to have some Ultimate Masters. I got to. Those were some great times when Rudy used to always open those, doing the Ultimate Masters bingo, man. I had to get some of that just to remember those times. The cereal, yeah. Still sealed, too. I might have to open it up and eat it on one of these streams. That'd be funny, right? Impossible. 8 years with 0 scam transactions. Surely you had one. Dude, I'm an open book. Literally the worst thing that has ever happened to me in my entire buying times, right, is this is the most money I've ever lost. Is I shipped a Dark Charizard Unlimited back in the day. I think I sold it for $18. And the seller or the buyer messaged me like 5 days after I mailed it and said, hey, I haven't got the card. Where is it? And it was back, I mailed it through a regular white envelope, and I knew right then and there he got it, and he just didn't want to say it. And so I took the loss on that. And then other than that, I've lost some, I've lost some TCG player playing my envelope orders because they don't have tracking on it. Maybe like $5, $7 cards here and there. Nothing major. Like I've never had any major like that's it. That's it. That's all the scams I've had. I've never had anyone sell me, fake stuff. I've never had anyone sell me resealed stuff. Or if I did, I've already sold that product back. I've opened up a lot of stuff I bought, like the Evolutions box. I just opened a live box break on. They were all real cards. I just never, I don't know. I bought some expensive stuff. I used to buy, I bought, base set packs, base set blisters, tons of WotC packs and blisters, theme decks, WotC booster boxes, like Southern Island stuff and, demo pack. I bought a lot of the big stuff back in the day. Never, if it was resealed, it looked real to me. I sold it to someone else, during the boom. They didn't get, I don't know. So maybe there's still stuff that I had that was resealed. I don't know, but I've never personally been scammed for any major dollar amount. So, and like I said, like that Charizard is like the one thing that stands out to me. It was like an $18 thing that I shipped in a plain white envelope because back then I, didn't know what I was doing. And it was back in like 2016 or 17 or something. And so, that's it, man. I wouldn't lie to you guys. If I was getting scammed, right? If I knew there were scammers out there, I'd let you know. I just haven't experienced any firsthand. What's the most expensive item you've sold online? I sold all of my WotC booster boxes in person, so those were online. Those were my most expensive items. I sold a complete first edition jungle set. First edition PSA 9 jungle hollow set. So it was I guess it's 15 of them. So I sold all those back during the boom, I think for $6,000. I think that's probably the most I've sold on a online transaction. Not too much. I haven't got too crazy. Especially back, I was really paranoid. Everything expensive that I sold, I made sure to do in person. I mean, I took road trips, flights to like meet people. Like I was pretty, and maybe that's why I haven't been scammed. Maybe I'm just like a little, smarter with who I do business with. Oh, here, Pokey. I will say this. I have canceled transactions before. If it was a brand new seller and they had zero feedback and they wanted to buy an expensive item, I would message them a little bit, try to feel them out. If I didn't feel comfortable, I'd say, hey, I'm not going to sell you this card. And I would cancel the transaction. So I have done that. I was one of those guys, right? I'd ask for references. They couldn't provide me references. I would cancel the transaction. So I did do that a few times when I was selling. So, maybe I've taken enough precautions not to get scammed. I don't know. But that's pretty much it. That sucks. I've heard that happen to people. I'm sorry to hear that you've had people do that, put a different card in there. The only real, thing you can do is, which I actually did. I did because I was like, I'm super paranoid, remember? I'd have my wife videotape me packaging the card, the items in the box, and I would sign over I'd sign my signature over each flap on the box, and then I would tape over that, right? And so and that way I had it all on video to show, hey, this is 100%, the box, everything I shipped it. And I don't know if that would have held up, like if it went to court or anything, but luckily I never had to do that. But you could do stuff like that to help. I don't know if it's 100% foolproof method though. It sucks dealing with people. Like I said, maybe try not to do business with people that are new or seem sketchy. That's all I can say. Because eventually, if that happens to multiple people, people complain to eBay will ban their account eventually. And they'll have to open new accounts. And then I said, don't really do business with new sketchy accounts. Try to be smart with who you're selling to, I guess, is the main thing I can say. Oh, the Pokemon Classic. Hey, do I get any credit for that? Do I get any credit so far? You want to know how much heat? If I could go back, guys, go back to my video. It's got like a whole background here. I could show you. I could show you the video. Let's go to my channel. Okay. Let's go to my videos. Right. Where is it? Somewhere back. Here it is. Go read some of the comments in this video. Okay. Are these Pokemon products really good investment? It was about the TCG Classic collection. I blew it up. I said, hey, this thing sucks. It's a glorified theme deck. There's no packs. There's no there's no gamble there. You're just paying a bunch of money for like 3 pre-constructed decks. If they'd have put those 3 decks in a theme deck, it'd be like $10 a piece. You get the classic card, some cool game board. Maybe it was $100 item at best. And then people, came at me saying, Alex, it's so limited. Some stores are only getting like 2 or 4 of them. And then I started talking to some people I know, and they're like, I don't know, Alex, I'm getting 60. I'm getting 80. I'm like, okay, all right. And so, I talked to my local game store. I'm like, okay, cool. And so that's when I knew, I'm like, these are not going to be the thing. And I said, hey, if you're going to spend $400, buy an Evolving Skies booster box over this. And Evolving Skies booster boxes, they're still steadily going up. These things, they were like pre-ordering at like $500 at some point or more. They're already down like the 350s, 370s. They're continuing to trend down. I wouldn't expect, they'll probably get in the low 300s. Like they're not, and they'll probably recover, but these are not going to be, in my opinion, the greatest investment. I don't think they're going to go to the moon. They're probably not going to crash or anything, but they're probably going to be a, $300 to $500 item for years and years and years and years. That's just what I think. I think Pokemon, price them way too high. I don't think there's enough value in there to make the price tag worth it. Maybe there's a play on the singles. I know you might have been the person on Instagram that tagged me about like there's such a low supply of singles because probably a lot of people aren't opening this. And so, yeah, maybe there's a play on the singles to try to, grade the real mint ones for the popular Pokemon, try to flip the other singles in the market just due to scarcity. You might get some good money. You might be able to make some profits there. So there might be plays there. I mean, there's always going to be plays with things like that. As far as guys like buying to sit on, I'm out. I'm not in on it. It's just, I don't believe in it. I said it back a month ago. I stand by what I said. Alex, I'm selling my wife. Can you give me a shout out? She's a bit used, but makes a decent coffee. Womb Raider with the Womb Raider name. Oh, you gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. There's your shout out. Anyone looking for a wife that makes coffee? Alex, thoughts on PSA seemingly grading much harsher in the New Jersey office? Is that right? I've been hearing a little bit about that. Guys, again, I don't know. I mean, there's no way of knowing, right? I mean, it's a few people, hearsay stuff right now. I think it's too early to know if that's actually going on. Because here's the thing. There's a bunch of different graders at both offices. So it could just be a couple graders there, a couple graders in California. Like, it's really hard to say that, every grader at New Jersey is all grading harder. I don't know. I don't get into all the conspiracy stuff. Here's the thing, what I don't get. I don't know if it's people that are just, I know a lot of people have showed me proof that their orders have been delayed a long time, but I don't know if a lot of people just want PSA to fall because they're the Goliath. They want CGC or some of these newer companies that do better and take market share for whatever reason. I'm not trying to get into all that, CGC drama and stuff again. But all my PSA orders, I send every card at $15 price level. And yes, I've got the Silver Dialga back, PSA 10, no upcharge. I got the Gengar VMAX back, no upcharge. I've gotten multiple Charizard cards back that are well over $200, no upcharge. Base set Charizard I got back, no upcharge. I don't know. So I send everything at $15. Okay, one. Every single order I get back in like a month and a half to 3 months. Every single order. I've been grading this whole year, and I'll send out all different sizes. 40, 50 card orders up to 120 plus card orders all over the place. I get them all back in that time frame. Nothing gets delayed very long. All my, maybe I pre-grade well because everything I usually get's in like the 70, 80% 10 rate, and they're all English cards. They're not Japanese cards. I graded 2 Japanese cards just for Ray. But I don't know. I have great. The reason I talk positively on PSA is a few reasons. One, they're the most liquid cards in the hobby. 2, the 10s hold the most value other than some CGC pristines, but CGC pristines are admittedly harder to get than PSA 10s. So why would you want to go after something that's harder to get but doesn't even have that much of a premium? If I was going to do that, I'd go Beckett Black Label. So other than some pristine 10s, and again, some of the pristine CGC 10s, right, they don't even sell for more when it comes back to a lot of the vintage and mid-era stuff. I shared a first edition Fossil Gengar sell for more in a PSA 10 the same week than it did in a CGC pristine. So it's not every pristine that sells for more than a PSA 10, which doesn't make sense. So harder to get, doesn't sell for much more, it doesn't make sense. If you want to go Beckett Black Label, it's really hard to get the Black Labels, but the premium is there, so that makes sense. So other than the pristine and the Black Label, the PSA 10 is better than any other 10 on the market. So for me, the liquidity is there, the value's there, and I get my cards back in a timely manner as far as I'm concerned. I just feel like it's the most trusted, card that the majority of the hobby still wants. So that's why I still grade with PSA. I don't know about all the other stuff going on. It's a lot of conspiracy type stuff. Do you find the flipping side or investing side to be more enjoyable? For me, I like the investing side. Flipping is a lot of work. Let's call it what it is. Flipping is a lot of work, and all of the people. Okay, again, not getting in drama, not mentioning names. It's hard. I'm trying to turn a new leaf, but I will say, not mentioning names, all of those people in all the different channels and all the different chats and discords, anyone trying to act like it's not much work and it doesn't take much more than investing, they are lying to you. Flipping cards is way more work than what I used to do. Guys, what I did before YouTube and before I started, trying to do all this flipping in business, I literally paid attention to the market. I could have looked at the market for 5 minutes a day, right? Got on, looked at the market prices on TCG Player, eBay, and some other sites. 5-10 minutes with my morning coffee. That's it. I don't need to know any ins and outs. I don't need to know what the cards are doing. I don't need to know what all the different stuff. I don't need to know the news. I don't care. I'm just waiting for entry points. And then when I got on one morning, I saw a deal or some offer. Hey, I'll go ahead and buy those cases. I'll set them on a shelf. My job's done. I had 0 items listed on my eBay. I remember, I think it was Walrus. Mr. Walrus was on my live, and I told him, I said, I've sold 0 items this year. He almost, his mouth dropped like, but yeah, I mean, I never had an active eBay or anything. So I didn't have to ever deal with customers, deal with messages, deal with shipping, deal with anything, right? I was just nothing, right? Do whatever I want. My day's mine. And then whenever came time that I wanted to realize a gain on one of my investments, then I would make a single listing, right? And I would just keep refreshing and relisting that same listing on the box until they all sold out. Maybe it takes a week, 2 weeks, right? And ship one box at a time. It takes me a couple minutes a day. And then guess what? After they're all gone, I'm done. No items listed on my eBay again, back to doing absolutely 0. So again, it's not as liquid as a stock trade where it's click a button, you have all your money, but it's like a million times less work than trying to always worry about the market. What's up, what's down, where's a nice play? Where do I source this card? Now I get all the cards in. Now I got to pre-grade them all, get them into sleeves. These are going to get sent off PSA. Now I got to make my orders, go and PSA, make my orders, get those mailed off. Okay, now I got to, put these on TCG Player, eBay, sell all these singles every day. Every day you got orders coming in. Every day you got to make shipments. Every day you got messages or questions. It's a lot to deal with. Let's call it what it is. It's a side business. And that's why when everyone comes at me trying to compare what they made on their flips compared to what I made on my investments, guess what? I didn't work for it. That's why I'm okay making less percentage, because with investing, you don't work. Your money works for you. So yeah, if I didn't need an income, I would definitely just be an investor, right? I wouldn't play the flip and grade game. It's way more work. And anyone who tells you it's not, and even the people that don't tell you it's not, they're like, well, I just enjoy it. I enjoy the Pokemon market. I enjoy finding deals. I enjoy the shipping. That's great. If you can find a job, a business you enjoy, because let's call it what it is. It's a business or a job. It's not investing. But if you can find a job or a business you enjoy, more power to you. If you just enjoy Pokemon and shipping and listing and all that much, great. I mean, but just don't tell a lie and act like it's the same as investing, or it's like it's not much work. It's a lot of work. Alejandro, the #1 channel supporter, is here. Folks, showing support, late to the party, Alex. I'm going to start investing in Pokemon and S&P and take notes to see difference over time. Dude, I do want to do that. Maybe we'll do that January 1st. Maybe January 1st, I'll get some money set aside and I'll buy one of every Scarlet Violet case, whatever the market price they're at, $85, $90, $95. I'll buy one of every case, and then I'll take that exact amount of money and put it in in the SPY, right? The S&P index. And we'll see what happens every year. Every year we'll go check each position and we'll see which wins, right? And we'll take out shipping and fees for selling the cases or whatever, and we'll make it fair, right? And it'd be cool to see, which prevails. Are you flipping, Alex? Are you kidding me? Every day I have 10, 15 orders to ship out these days. I mean, I just got done packaging up 12, 13 orders today between TCG Player and eBay. Yeah, man, I'm on the grind. I just sent out 2 more PSA orders this week. So yeah, man, we're rolling. We're rolling here. Yeah, Alejandro, that was put out. There's more new millionaires created in this last, I forget what the year period. I'd have to look at the article. Last 10 years or something. But yeah, people are becoming, there's more new millionaires created in their 401ks recently than ever before. And so it's I know there's $1 trillion in credit card debt. I know savings accounts are dropping, but people's homes values are skyrocketing. people's investments are obviously doing well. All the debt is being serviced, whether it be car, home, credit cards. I don't see any cause to concern. That's just me. That's the macroeconomic view that people are asking about. I don't see it. I hear the news articles. I hear how everything's terrible. Everyone's losing their jobs and interest rates are too high and groceries are too expensive and gas is expensive and houses are too much, interest rates are too much and cars are too expensive. I hear all the noise, but I don't see any of the numbers because really the numbers don't lie. All the noise does. Remember that. Remember when you see all the noise in the news coming on and all the YouTube thumbnails, just remember that's the noise. What are the numbers saying? The numbers are truly what matters. And this is not to like be like an evil person and not have my heart go out to people that are struggling. There are people struggling. I'm not saying there aren't. But unfortunately, we live in a society where you have to look at the broad spectrum of the numbers as of the population of a 300 whatever million people in America as a whole are doing. And yeah, you're going to have people that are ultra wealthy. And you're going to have people that are struggling. And it sucks, it sucks that, it sucks that we're not a perfect species and socialism can't work. But, in my mind, it can't because, humans are flawed and people will always find a way to take advantage of whatever system. And, I just feel like capitalism is the one system that it gives you the most opportunity for everyone down the line. People can disagree with me on that. That's fine. But, yeah, it sucks that it has to be that way. But I think as a whole, though, most people are doing well. I mean, you're seeing all these strikes are getting settled, right? The auto worker strike, the UPS strike, they're all getting settled. Everyone's getting more money. Like everyone's making more than they ever have. I mean, yeah, things are more expensive, but salaries are more. So just don't believe all the noise all the time. Look at the numbers. Always look at the numbers. Josh says, started in the hobby 3 months ago. Your videos have helped me so much in investing smart and not afraid to just yes to the investment in the next 5 years because why not, right? That's awesome, Josh. Happy you got back in the hobby or found the hobby for the first time, whichever it is. Hope you're enjoying it. I hope you do well over time, man. I don't know what this is in reference to, but if you're focused on English, yeah. So, Purple, I'm focused on English, man. Like that's the market I know. That's the market I'm comfortable with. I'm not against Japanese. I'm not against people who collect or invest in Japanese. It's just you only have so much time in a day. Your interest only goes so far. And to me, like, yeah, I could go to Japanese Pokemon, but then there's a lot of other English TCGs that I could invest in as well. And I just enjoy the English stuff more. So I'd rather like move into One Piece or put my money elsewhere in other stuff in English. That's just me though. Nothing against Japanese. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm sure you can do just as good, if not better, sometimes worse, whatever in Japanese. It's just not for me. That's why I don't touch on it here. That's all. What's a box you would buy to hold for the next 3 to 5 years under 100 retail? Well, under 100 retail, that really takes down the pool, right? To just basically Scarlet and Violet. Here, I'll tell you what. If I had to pick one under 100 retail, I'd go to TikTok and I'd find a deal that has like Silver Tempest or Lost Origin or like any of those, like Chilling Reign, Fusion Strike, Astral Radiance, any of the alt art sets that I could find a coupon or maybe on Black Friday on TikTok that they brings them under $100. I'd buy any one of those sets. Any alt art sword and shield set I could buy for under 100, I'd buy that. If you're talking full retail price, no coupons, I'd probably go. Well, Pokemon 151 doesn't have I'd probably buy, a 151 UPC, or I'd buy Paldea Evolved booster box. I don't get all the hate for investors / flippers. If you can't afford to play the game, why bother hating for the player? I don't know. Like, I don't know why it's demonized. I really don't. I mean, I didn't demonize the GameStop, or AMC investors, when they were making bank on, all the Wall Street bet stuff in the stock market. I didn't hate on all the crypto people making bank on Ethereum and Bitcoin and everything when that was, and Dogecoin when all that was going to the moon. I don't hate on anyone making money in whatever respective hobby or investment they're in. I don't know why Pokemon, and maybe because I'm not involved in those hobbies, maybe there is a lot of hate in those hobbies too. There could be. I just feel like Pokemon investors, man, we get the brunt of it, don't we? I was going to get an S&P 500, but I think it's reasonable that there are plays that will outperform 9 to 11% a year over time much faster. I mean, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. What would be a good pack to invest in? Oh man, I don't even know. I don't follow the vintage market close enough anymore. I think they're probably all over $100 a pack though. Getting into modern, I mean, maybe like Flashfire or Phantom Forces, one of those two. Team Up's had a huge rise. I think Team Up's gonna have a fallback eventually. I wouldn't get into that right now. I'd probably say like Flashfire, Phantom Forces, one of those. Maybe Evolutions. I don't know, something like that. If you take off your hat, you'll self-destruct. Oh, my hair's a mess, man. I've been growing it out. It's super long, man. It's super long. There you go. There's the hair. Yeah, this has been a huge talk recently about the whole AI grading, computers grading. It could become a thing. I'm sure they want it to. I mean, think how much money those companies would save if they didn't have to pay employees, right? I mean, it sucks people lose their jobs, but that's progress, right? That's what we're told. I don't know. I haven't done enough research into it. I haven't bought enough like AGS cards, which is the grading company that does that, and compared like their 9s and 10s and 8s and everything to all the other grading companies. I haven't done that work to see if it's really that much more accurate. I don't know. If it can be just as or more accurate though, and you don't need the humans in the way, right? It probably will be, honestly. The way things are going, it wouldn't surprise me. I love 151. Definitely got back because of it. I'm a binder completionist and always get the itch to open more. I'm 24 away from completing. Wow, you're getting close. Good luck on completing that. But yeah, I mean, it's another person. I mean, how many people have we heard already? Got back in with 151. There's so many people finding the hobby back with 151. Godly Shad, this is very cool if you made two hypothetical portfolios, vintage fundamentals versus modern sealed. Starting from 2023 and on, we can see which portfolio would outperform better. Well, the Godly Shad, so expand on that. What would it be? Like vintage sealed versus modern sealed? Are we talking modern? Are we talking vintage slabs versus modern slabs? Is it just any vintage versus modern? Like, I'm very pro modern sealed. And so like if I'm making a portfolio, I'm making a modern sealed booster box portfolio versus vintage sealed, vintage slabs, whatever you want to say. So I guess it just really depends. Anger Collections is here. What's up, my man? Anger's on the Magic side of things. He's full-time in Magic, I believe, which is pretty cool. Yeah, people are talking about like here, Sword and Shield base set. The hits don't come close to the price of the box. Guys, there's countless sets. I mean, I could do a whole video listing all the sets going back all the way to base set. How many cards are not worth what? I mean, base set, literally base set. A PSA 10 Charizard from Base Set Unlimited is worth under $10,000. The box goes for 15 or something, right? I mean, almost every box as it ages, the boxes are worth way more than the cards inside. It's always been that way. It's nothing new. And inevitably, every single card collector that doesn't understand sealed product or doesn't like it, they all don't understand it and they all hate it. Why would anyone pay that much for a box when the cards inside you could get for less? I know, I've heard it all. I get it. Man, this pre-release promos, those are, oh man, it's kind of a sore subject for me. I was moving into a lot of the build and battle pre-release kits for a while, and they weren't performing, so I stopped doing it. So, some of them do well, some don't. Obviously the Evolutions, pre-release kit did amazing. I ended up selling that for $1,000. I sold that pre-release kit for $1,000 sealed during the boom, because that Evolutions Charizard pre-release stamp is worth so much. But a lot of the other cards, there's good characters on it. Like I know, like I think it was Vivid Voltage with the Charizard pre-release did well for me. But a lot of the, unless the pre-releases have good Pokemon and they're, sought after cards, I don't know. Maybe there'll become a time where that becomes a thing. I know the staff ones do a lot better because they're more scarce. But I stopped making that play a pretty long while ago. But it could become a thing eventually. You never know. This is a great point, Lodemir. A lot of people that are anti-Pokemon investing, I wonder if a lot of them got in during 2020, 2021 and lost a fortune during the crash. And so all I can say to that is, never buy into hype, right? You sell into the hype, you buy into the periods like this when people are negative. So yeah, it sucks to hear anyone that did get hurt during those times. Hey, Pokey Grinding, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I will refrain from calling English inferior. Dude, you don't have to do anything. You call it whatever you want, man. If you like it more, you like it more. I don't care. I'd rather you be yourself and just say what you want to say. No, I meant that you should pick up Crown Zenith ETVs for $35 right now. It's a good Black Friday deal. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, man, I got you wrong there. Please don't eat the cereal. You're very patient with people's opinions. I like your thoughts on the hobby. Keep the good work. Mr. Zard's Mix, I appreciate that. And yeah, I try to be as patient. I try to let everyone get their voices heard because guys, I'm trying. No drama. I've been a part of communities in the past where that wasn't allowed. And so I try to let it be loud on my channel. Any type of love, hate, agreement, disagreements. I think everyone should be heard. And hey, that's the thing, is having an open mind. Like sometimes people will hit you with something and you'll look into it. You're like, you know what? They do kind of have it right. I do have to kind of switch my way of thinking or my mindset on that particular item or that particular thing. So it's always good to hear out every different viewpoint, right? Unless people become spammy and just start saying the same thing over and over, or start getting, offensive, talking about you as a person. Then it's like, all right, dude, I'm not taking your questions anymore. We're keeping this Pokemon related, right? Favorite set of all time? I don't know. I don't really have one. I really don't have a favorite set of all time. Base set's always going to have the most meaningful to me. That's just my childhood right there. So base set, but I really don't know. I just don't have one. I really don't have a favorite set of all time. I like cards from a lot of sets. I don't know if there's one set I could really pin down to say it's my favorite set. Maybe Legendary Collection just for the, it's got so many of the reprint cards and, it's got the firework reverse holo pattern. So much different than any other reverse holo you'll see out there. The pack art and the box art is all so great. It's just good overall. I don't know. But it's still not even Legendary Collection. I really don't have one. I really don't have a favorite set. Team Rocket Returns, though. Team Rocket Returns is a great set. With grading, don't you want the most critical eye grading your cards so your grade is legit? Well, if you're a collector, yeah. If you're a flipper, no. if you're a flipper, you almost want someone that's just gonna go through real quick and be like, oh, it looks pretty good, 10. Oh, it looks pretty good, 10. I don't want someone super critical grading my cards because I'm trying to sell them. If you're trying to collect the absolute most perfect card ever imagined, yeah, maybe. That's kind of a catch-22 question there. I think they opened it, Michael. I think it's open. They're operating. Yeah, they're operating in New Jersey. They're not. No, they're not tournament legal. The energies are. Some of the cards are, some of them aren't, and they're not all tournament legal. No. I FOMO. When you start flipping cards, you realize how overpriced you are at an average wage job. How overpaid you are at an average wage job. What does that mean? I FOMO. What does that mean? Do you mean like how overpaid you are? I don't know what that means. Are you saying like flipping cards is like a lot more work than an average job? I don't know about that. Give me another comment. Let me know what you mean by that. I'd love to talk more about that. Nothing like getting blind from using a light box to photograph and list cards. Hard work, to be honest. I'll be honest with you. I don't even do that. I drag and drop the scans from PSA onto eBay for my graded card listings. And then a lot of my singles, I do the same thing with TCG Player stock photo. Like, I mean, they sell. You know, I mean, I try not to take a lot of photos. I try to cut that line out. You know, a lot of like hardcore collectors, right? The people who want to grade themselves, who want real mint stuff, they usually won't buy the stuff without real pictures. But I mean, I just shipped a couple today that didn't have pictures and sold on eBay with a stock photo. So I usually try to stay away from taking pictures of everything. Because here's my thought process. I can live like, unless the card's looks really good. Well, if it looks really good, I'm going to grade it myself, right? So there's going to be like blemishes on the card, whether it be one little white mark or one little bit off center. In my mind, a picture of that card can only hurt it from selling instead of help it. So I would rather just put a base picture up there, put near mint, and let it go that way. Like that's my particular selling method. A lot of other people might not want to go that way, and it also does cut me off from a lot of the market. I get that. There's only a certain part of the market that will buy without pictures, but TCG player cards sell. So I use the same strategy on eBay. Like I'm not going to sit there and take pictures every day of cards. It's just not my thing. Like I said, I'm not one of those guys who just loves the flipping side that much. Alejandro said $100 in the S&P a month, $100 in the Pokemon a month. Yeah, and I guess when the money isn't being used, right? Because like, what if you don't want to, like, if you want to buy a more expensive item, I guess you just keep it in an account, and then next month when you have $200, you can buy something in Pokemon if you wanted to buy something more in singles. Like it would be interesting because I also want to do the same thing with singles, like I talked about earlier. I want to buy like a case of booster boxes and then also buy like $600 or $550 in singles, like, maybe 20 to 50 copies of a whole bunch of different singles that I see and see how those age in the next 1, 2, 3, 4 years and see which one does better. Cause it'd be interesting to see. The most fun part about this hobby must be the so-called Poke-millionaires that are living with their parents and they give financial advice. Beautiful. Well, I haven't lived with my parents for a good 10 plus years now. You know what's a great example of that though? Cool Trainer Ryan. The dude actually is a Poke-millionaire and he actually was living with his parents. So hey, it can happen. Some of these guys live with their parents. They could actually be Poke-millionaires. They just don't They just haven't wanted to get a house or live on their own. So, hey, don't knock it, man. You never know someone's story. I mean, Cole Trainer Ryan, he's every bit a Pokemon multimillionaire. He just got his own house. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, Mikey, I'll make a video about sending cards in for grading. Absolutely. I always forget that, like, not everyone's done all this stuff, and some people are newer. So I think that will be a good video to do, especially for anyone finding the hobby now that wants to grade themselves. Look, it's not difficult, right? It just takes a little work and time and effort and money. You get to put up some money. Good part about PSA though is they don't charge you until the grades are ready. So you'll get the charge on your credit card, and then you'll get the cards like a few days later. And so you have time to sell a lot of them and recoup that money and pay off that grading fee before the credit card bills even due. And so it's not terrible amount of risk unless you get really bad grades, you're not good at pre-grading, stuff like that. If you're grading for your collection, it's great idea to grade yourself. Yeah, I can do that in the future for sure. We'll do. Make a note right now. PSA vid. All right, I got it down. How to become a millionaire? Earn $2 million, spend $1 million on cards. There you go. Man, I get a lot of love this stream. Appreciate you guys. Hey, great chat. 100% agree. No others talk and tell like you. Respect. Man, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Anyone selling a wife? Yes. Anyone selling a wife who can make coffee, or is this the wrong chat? You're in the right place, SDC. Who is selling their wife? SDC he's looking for it. You guys need to hook up. Found you a buyer. Look at this. We're making deals live on stream. This is great. It's a great community we got here. We're selling wives. Oh, God. People are talking about flesh and blood. I'm not going to get into that. No zero about that, except for what Rudy says on his videos when I watch him. We can make vintage slabs versus modern sealed. Ooh. All right. I mean, yeah, if you want to, like, Godly Shed, tell you what, we'll do something where, like, because I'm not going to put a bunch of money in vintage slabs because I'm not going to do that. I will put, what we can do is we can have a budget of whatever you want, and you can put that budget into any vintage slab you choose, and I'll put that budget into any modern sealed right now, and we'll see how they do, and we can compare and contrast, right? But I'm not going to go out and buy thousands of dollars of vintage slabs just to prove a point that modern sealed can outperform them. But we can certainly do that. I have no issue with that. I just, like, I'm not going to buy stuff I don't believe in, right? Whereas, like, the S&P, I'll buy because I believe in it. I 100% believe in the S&P, right? I'm stupid not to. I just believe in Pokemon more, right? So I know my S&P investment is going to be worth more in 7 years. I just think the Pokemon's going to do better in 7 years. Vintage slabs, man, I don't believe in those enough, man. I couldn't go out and buy all that stuff. I don't have enough money to just throw around on stuff that I don't believe in. Sorry. We don't need proof of purchase. All we need to do is take it from, like, a market price right now, right? Just give me a list of cards, the market price they're actually selling for. I'll take a list of items. We'll take it from the actual price. So we'll take Chilling Reign from $150 or whatever it is. Like, we'll take the actual market prices from right now, actual sold confirmed listings, and then we'll go from so that way there's no sweetheart deals, no private sales, no, oh, I bought this for this, or, oh, I graded this myself, or, oh, I bought Chilling Reign boxes for $80. None of that BS. We'll take market price versus market price of the slabs versus modern sealed and see how they perform. That's the fairest way to do it, man. That's the fairest way to do it. That's always been my gripe with a lot of people who talk about vintage slabs is most people always have a story, right? Oh, well, I graded all these myself, or I found these on, PWCC auction, or I make trades for these, or I I picked these up way under market price, or no. We're going to do something anyone can do, right? Anyone can go out and redo themselves. So it has to be what they're actually available for and going for on the market, and what they go to. Like, I'd be happy to put modern sealed up against any vintage slabs. Would you invest in 2 or 3 PSA 9s or 1 PSA 10 of the same card? I only started looking at PSA 9s as the price are still crazy high for some chase cards. I still think PSA 10 is the way to invest. So, G, I did a video. Let me share my screen. Go watch this video, man. Let me scroll back and find it. I brought this up in my last live. I get asked this. I need to make a follow-up video to this. I get asked this so much in lives from people getting back in the hobby. Because it's still a great topic. Man, must have been a long time ago. Or did I skip it? Here it is, right here. Right here. Is it don't buy... Here, right here. Is investing in 10s really better than 9s? So it's right. It was a year ago. Here's the thumbnail. Here's the title. Is Pokemon investing in PSA 10s really better than PSA 9s? You'd be surprised. Like, I could show you some of that video. I'm not going to click on it. Go watch that video if you're interested, though. It breaks down, and actually there's a lot. It's not a rule, right? There's no 100% rules. Every card's different. There are a lot of cards, though, okay? As a PSA 9, same card. So say, a PSA 10, Fossil Snorlax first edition and a PSA 9 Fossil Snorlax first edition. The same exact card, right? Where the 9, and I'm not saying that the Snorlax was, or sorry, Dragonite, Snorlax? Snorlax is Fossil. Anyway, I'm not saying that that's the card that did, but there's multiple cards that the 9s actually performed better into the boom and have still performed better after the boom than the PSA 10 counterpart. And you're saying, well, how is that possible? I'm not saying they had higher prices. I'm saying that percentage-wise, on percentage term growth, you'd have done better in a PSA 9 than a PSA 10. Whereas the PSA 10 may have went from like 500 to 5,000 and went up 10 times. But the PSA 9 might have went from $50 to like 800 and went up like over 10 times. And then as they crashed, the 9 actually didn't crash as hard as the 10. And there's a ton. I have like maybe 5 examples in that video, and there's more than that out there. I just wanted to keep the video, short. Look, it's still a 26-minute video, but there's countless examples out there where 9s actually perform better than 10s in a percentage basis if you would have bought them at the same time back in 2016, 2019, and then held them all the way through into the boom after the boom. It's interesting data, and a lot of people won't talk about that. So no, 10s are not always the best performing card. I just wanted to really get that through because 10s get thrown around as like the end-all be-all too much, and it's just not the case. It never has been. Because here's how you think about it, right? If a 10 is like $1,000, right, and the 9's only 80, even if the pop report's really high on the 9s, eventually there's not enough general people in the community that can collect $1,000 card, right? So if enough of those people say, well, you know what, I just want the card, the price isn't coming down, I want the 9. If enough people do that, the 9 prices rise, even if the 10 price doesn't. And we've seen that happen a lot of times where the 9 will start rising. The 10 doesn't really rise much because it's already at kind of a plateau where it needs to be. And so you can see a 9 go from $80 to $150, and the 10 maybe only go from $1,000 to $1,100. And so, it happens, guys. It happens. And then you're saying, well, Alex, you'll still make more money in the 10, even though it's not as much percent gain. Well, no, you won't. Go buy, if a 9 is $100 and the 10 is $1,000, go buy 10 9s if you want to invest. If the 9s go up more percentage points, you're going to make more money. It's a strategy I used recently on the Face Collide Alakazam, right? I bought multiple copies of that when I could pick them up in the 60s. They were in the 60s earlier this year, and now they're selling in the hundreds. It's just there's plays like that. 9s can be undervalued for sure. You're never going to know. You're never going to catch the bottoms or the tops, right? You're never going to know when to sell. When I sold out a lot of my big collection back in the day, I didn't hit the top. I sold a lot of mine as things were coming down. Actually, I held it. I held through the pump, and as I saw things starting to level out and start to fall, that's when I sold a lot of mine. And I have emails still. I don't know if I still do. I think I might have gone. I think I might does Google eventually just delete your emails? But I have emails some of the big sellers in the hobby. I think TCA Gaming. TCA Gaming is one of them. I know that. He's one of them. But where I was working a deal for some of my my WotC boxes, and I know with him I was trying to work a deal on the base set unlimited box, and I was like, hey, I got it. And he would literally send me the message back. Okay, I can give you 30 grand for it, but I only have 24 hours for that offer. And I wouldn't take it. I'd think about it more nah, I'm gonna hold. And then I'd message him a month later, hey man, I can do 27.5 for it, but 24 hours to give me an answer, or I can't guarantee that price. And eventually I ended up selling to Troll and Toad. But it is funny to I did hold all the way through, and I didn't catch the tops. I didn't anywhere near the tops. But you're never gonna catch the bottoms either. So when things have like that Lugia, that Silver Tempest Lugia, when you see something drop 50% and you see the booster boxes drop and now they're starting to stagnate and still sell, those are times when you can start gradually making positions, right? You don't know if it's going to go lower, but I mean, it's 50% less than it did cost. Wait till things start to stagnate. They're still selling, but they're not really dropping. Look for those things. Evolving Skies booster box. What are you asking for? Are you wanting one in your collection? Yeah, I think it's a buy. I don't think it's going to go lower. Are you talking about for an investment? Are you trying to buy multiple as an investment? I don't know. It's hard to say no. A lot of people will just come out and say, no way. I can't do that because we've seen what happened with Team Up. I saw what happened. I've experienced myself what happened with Evolutions. I've experienced, because Evolutions, right? It went from, 80s, 90s to 300-400, right? You had tons of people dumping them at 400. Same thing at 300-400. Same thing like Evolving Skies. Evolutions went to 1,000 plus a box. Team Up is over 2,000 a box. So, Flashfire was at 350s before the boom. Now it's in the 3,000s. So I can't really say that Evolving Skies can't go to $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a box, right? I don't know the time frame. I don't know if it will, but I can't come out and say 100% is a bad investment. Well, are there other things where it might be better to put your money? Yeah. Other places where it's worse to put your money? Absolutely. If you're asking me, Alex, is it better than buying 3 Darkness Ablaze booster boxes? Yeah. I'd buy 1 Evolving Skies over 3 Darkness Ablaze booster boxes. That's an investment right now. So, there's always good. There's always better. There's always a bigger fish, always a better investment, but it's not the worst idea in the world depending on what you want it for. Here, put it this way. I sold all my Evolving Skies. Okay. Sold it all into the first big boom. Never really got a big reprint. I bought back Evolving Skies booster boxes at, I don't remember. Where did I buy those? I didn't buy them on eBay, or I could pull my eBay purchases. I bought them through a private store. I forget what site, but I think I paid $360 a box. So there you go. I bought back in at $360 a box on Evolving Skies earlier this year. It's going pretty good so far. I saw opportunity, and some people will tell you, oh, $140 or $130 Lost Origin box is too late. $400 Evolving Skies is too late. I don't ever think that way. I don't ever think it's too late for a good investment. You're not going to see the massive gains, but I bought it back into Evolving Skies, so I believe in it. Pokemon Wonder just got back. If you said this already, please dismiss. How are things going full-time Pokemon? Are you going to be able to stay in, or will you part-time find a job in 2024? I don't know, man. Here's the thing. My life's different than most. Financially, I don't need to get a job. I can continue to do this. No big deal. Our lifestyle doesn't change at all. It's really about trying to get here. I'll come out and just tell you, I'm not one of those people who just wants to find something I enjoy and I just want to work. And no, I want to retire as young as possible. That's me, right? So really for me, if I go back and get a job, it's more going to be about, I want to be able to put away as much as possible into long-term investments, and be able to get enough put away where we can live off those investments, in our 40s. Like, I don't want to be working in my 50s and 60s and all that. And so, like, yeah, I could definitely do this full time. Our lifestyle won't change a bit, but I'm not putting near as much money away monthly into investments as I was. So that's going to be an issue, probably going forward, which I might end up getting a job because of. But we'll see. We'll see if I can make enough out of this. If I can really, pick things up and make enough income where maybe it's not as much as I can make working, but it's enough to where I'm still putting away a good amount into investments and I'm still kind of on track for an early retirement, then I'll be good. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. It's less about like, where my next meal is going to come from and how I'm going to pay my bills, and more about like, is this the right strategy? Is this the most efficient way, like, to live, is to, just focus on Pokemon full time and not get a job where I can make a lot more money. So we'll see. We'll see how things go. I'm having a blast though. I love it. I mean, it beats working, right? Making videos, hanging out with you guys during the day on a live, buying and selling shiny cardboard, being able to give away this stuff to people, giving away this, right? Giving away this one next Crystal Guardians Hollow Charizard, $500 card, by the way. So, I mean, having a lot of fun, meeting a lot of cool people. I think next year is going to be fun with some collecticons. So, we'll see where it takes me, man. I'm just trying to, see what doors are available, open those doors and see where those doors take me type thing right now. Got some love for Pokemon Wonder in here from Kelvin Trading. There you go. Justin's loving that. Flipping cards is much more work. Working at Panera Bread brewing coffee doesn't seem so bad anymore, but I love this hobby and would have it any other way. Okay, well, Panera Bread isn't really I get what you're saying. Yeah, Pokemon cards is probably more work than that, but like, I mean, coming from what I was doing, like in sales, way more stress, harder work than dealing with Pokemon, right? A lot of like the higher up, jobs at companies and stuff, like, I think they're definitely harder than selling Pokemon. But yeah, there's jobs out there that are a lot easier. I mean, you could go, I could go work at Home Depot and walk around and talk to people about, lawn fertilizers or tools all day. Okay. I mean, yeah, it's probably easier than selling Pokemon, but I guess it depends, man. Flipping cards is fun. At least you get to hold and see all the cards in person before shipping them. Yeah, there's a lot of fun that goes into it. Like I said, it's the listing and the shipping and, getting the raw copies in and having to sort them and then find out that a lot of them aren't gradable and having to sell all those back and rinse and repeat. That's not as fun for me. But yeah, the grading, I'm one of those people, like I've already got like made fun of for it. I'm one of those people, I do not look at the PSA grades before I get them. Will not do it. I love getting the grades in, and I love, putting my finger over the number and then slowly revealing it, like, oh, got the 10. Like, I love that. I still love the hobby. I love a lot about it. And so, like, it's not all dollars and cents to me. There's a lot more of, like, enjoyment in life, enjoyment in what I do goes into it. And so, yeah, you got to take the goods with the bads. You're not going to always love every second of everything you do. What are your thoughts on managing risk in Pokemon investing? Understanding all investing has a level of risk. Yeah, like I said, if you're brand new, it's hard to manage risk. My best advice, if you're brand new, don't have a lot of money, like I said, you can, look for lots, look for collections, right, that are undervalued, that you can, by doing the legwork and breaking them down and selling them individually, you're gonna make a profit. You can do that. Buy cards you can grade yourself, realize the gains there. Or you can do, I said, like, go into the single cards, try to buy like $1, $2, $3, $5 singles and invest in those. Or like I said, when you start getting into it, start getting gains. This is me. My opinion, you don't have to do it. I always take money off the table. I do the same thing in the stock market. If I move in a trade with, let's say, 2,000 shares and the stock goes up 20, 30%, I take 1,000 shares off the table. Like I get money off the table. I get my profits. right? That way, you know, if it keeps going, I still got some skin in the game. If it starts to drop, I can either choose to hold, sell the rest, reinvest it and get more money back in at a lower dollar cost. And so like, I always like to manage my risk that way. So with Pokemon, I always sell my cards or items when they have rises, when they have spikes. So that's just me. That would my advice is take risk off the table whenever possible. If you have a case of boxes and they go from $100 to $200, maybe sell 2 or 3 of them. Now your cost basis per box is so low that it's almost impossible to ever lose on it. And you can put those away with no fear of ever losing any of your own money that you worked for. It'll all just be unrealized gains that you're losing at that point, and just rinse and repeat that process. So that's kind of my advice on that. Alejandro, or even $150, that was technically, you have a booster box. I'm just saying $150 a month or both, just because that's more attainable for the average person. I'll try that, and you try the other way you said it. Yeah, that would be pretty crazy. $150 a month. S&P. Yeah, because the S&P, it does have compounding interest. Pokemon doesn't. It would be interesting to see how it turns out. Appreciate that, Ferdbird. Who is that? Ferdbird? I wanted to say Fredbird. I'm from St. Louis Cardinals. Fredbird. Appreciate that, man. And more love being shown. Pokemon Department Store. Sub to your channel. I love it. I love the support in here. We got Pokemon Wonder getting supported. We got Pokemon Department Store. You gotta love it, guys. Everyone can win. Remember that. Yeah, of course. I can be the one purchasing vintage. Would be a fun comparison for the viewers. Well, market price for slabs is me buying at auction. I'm not doing anything. Oh, yeah. Auction counts. No, auction counts. I just meant no, like, purchases through like Facebook Marketplace or Instagram where you worked a deal with someone you knew in the community and they gave you no. Anything on the open market that anyone could have done, absolutely, that's fair. Personally, think anyone can purchase a card at auction. Absolutely. Not difficult. Nope. Anyone can do it. Yeah, that'd be fine, Godly Shad. I'd do that with you. I love vintage, but old school collectors have had 20 years to pick up cards. If an individual hasn't gotten back into the hobby after 2020 or 151, what would convince them to get back in? 151, right? 30th anniversary, some other crazy set, maybe some Pokemon game, maybe there's a movie or a show that comes out that they're giving away a promo card with that, and then people see that and then they want to collect the cards again. There's a million reasons, right? I mean, a promo card gets given away with like one of the Switch games or Game Boy games or whatever it may be, right? A Game Boy's not a thing anymore, I guess, but yeah, there's a million things that can get people back into the card game. It's not, and every time they get back in, you never know where they're going to want to go. You never know where they're going to want to go collect cards from, what catches their eye, what kind of community they get involved in and kind of get influenced by that community or that YouTube channel or that group of Instagram or Discord. You just don't know. Like, it's impossible to find that metric. But yeah, more people find the hobby every day. Yeah, Snorlax is from Jungle, not Fossil. I got that. In my head, I was thinking Dragonite. For some reason, I said Snorlax. Trust me, I know. I can name all those sets, every card in them. Don't you worry. I'm not that stupid. A lot goes on in your head when you're trying to think, be live, like keep things entertained. I know I can't get it. I definitely lose my train of thought sometimes. First time catching a live, Nigel? Really? I know you have a lot of don't have a crystal ball, but I have a spare funds now to pick up a few off the other alt arts. Would you wait until after Christmas for prices to go down later? Ooh, I don't know, man. It's impossible to say. It's impossible to say. In my mind, I'm thinking a lot of deals are going to be between now and Christmas and the 31st of this year. I don't know if they're going to get cheaper next year, you know? It's impossible to know. If I was wanting to collect for myself, I think after seeing the cards drop like 50%, I think that'd be enough for me to move into a card I've been waiting for. But you might be different. 90s kids are not wealthy by any means. Majority of millionaires in the U.S. in their 60s wait until the wealth transfer hits. Absolutely. I always talk about that. Absolutely, man. I can't be God, guys. Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, this is a great point by Derek. Dollar cost average. Set a day and buy some each month. Once you think the bottom is close. That goes into a question, that just got asked by, who was that? Jeremy? Nigel. It's really hard if you're just buying one box, one card, whatever. You're never gonna catch the exact right bottom, right? But yeah, if you're gonna try and build a position and you want to buy like a bunch of copies of the card or a bunch of boxes or a bunch of ETB, I would, when you start feeling it bottoming, I would just start buying, one, and then check back in next week, next couple weeks, see if they're lower, if they're higher. If they're higher, you don't want more, keep it. If they're lower, you can buy more, keep getting your dollar cost average down, and kind of do that over the course of weeks or a couple months. And that way you can get a good average, right? You can average in at the bottoms. You can do, and same thing with selling. I do the same thing with selling. Every time I'll put it on the market, right? It sells. Before I list my next one, I'll look if the market's moving, and maybe I'll list it a little higher and a little higher. I'll sell things on the way up, just like I'll buy things on the way down. You can take advantage of it both ways. Hey, I didn't sell my Evolving Skies for too much more when I started selling them, so don't feel too bad. Alex is already retired. I wish, man. I wish. I'm almost finally caught up to the chat. Awesome. Yeah, we're about 2 hours. We're a little over 2 hours in. That's usually when I get caught up and we usually end things. So there we go. Let's see. People talking about some video game stuff. Wow, still live? Yeah, man. We're about to wrap things up here. You guys got any last minute stuff? I will take it. I think I reached the end of the chat. I appreciate every one of you being here middle of the day like this on a Monday. I'm sure some of you guys are at work. I'm sure some maybe you took off for Thanksgiving week. I wish everyone the best time with their families during this Thanksgiving. Wish you the best luck getting the best deals on Black Friday. It's probably gonna be my only live this week. Because I'm not gonna do a pack opening because it's Thanksgiving, so I won't be doing that on Thursday. I'll have some more videos coming out as always. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video. We will be announcing the giveaway, and that's when that'll be the video you need to comment on, and you'll get the Crystal Guardians PSA 9 Holo Charizard. You can comment on that and go follow Low Popping on the socials. That'll be the sponsored video. Other than that, yeah, I'll make some. I got the note for the PSA video. We'll make some videos about, some of the plays to make right now, some of the plays I've made, some of the things to buy. And yeah, I got a pretty good idea for a week of content for you guys to where it's actually legitimately going to be helpful. And it's not just throwing random videos together to put something out. I got some good ideas coming. So stay tuned for those. Pokemon Wonder said, mark my words, Alex, if you go back to work full time, you will miss these days. I know it. Hey, I 100% know that. I am fully aware of how great this is right now, and I'm soaking in every second of it. And no, I'm not taking an ounce of this time for granted, my man. Trust me. Great chat and much love this morning, this Monday morning. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope everyone's safe holidays. Absolutely. Really appreciate all the love, guys. Alex, don't forget to grab some packs to crack for Thanksgiving. Absolutely. Hey, thanks, Maestro. I really appreciate that. We'll see. We'll see how things go. I'm going to do my best to work enough at it and get things going, rolling enough to make it work. So we'll see. Damn, no drama for 2 hours. Oh man, it's going to be 2 hours and it's going to be 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. We're getting off the drama train. All right, guys, we're going to end the stream there. Appreciate everyone for being here and best of luck with all of your investing and collecting. See everyone back here in the new video tomorrow. We're out.